let's start with the Heisman Trophy conversation, because I think this is fascinating. Much like we've talked about, there's a ton of teams that could still win it and a ton of teams that are still in it. I think there's a ton of contenders for the Heisman Trophy that are still very much in it. Now, the list outside of quarterback, if you're going to find it, I don't know that exists. That's an interesting conversation for me. Jeremiah Love might be a guy you throw in there, but if you look at receivers, you look at quarterbacks or non-quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, there's not a lot of guys to point to with 6 silly stats, and you have to have 6 silly stats to be in that conversation and not be a quarterback. But we're going to start with 5, and then we'll have a discussion too with Brent as well, to talk about some of the other guys. If I was doing the Heisman Trophy today, right now, here's where I'm going. I'm going number 5, Marcel Reed. He's got almost 2,000 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's kicked in 350 on the ground and 6 more touchdowns. And he just had his most impressive performance where he went up and down the field and did everything he wanted to do against LSU. So I think the floor is there. The ceiling could be much higher for Marcel Reed. Number 4, Haynes King, Mr. Do-It-All. Yeah, unbelievable job again, throwing the ball exceptionally well. He was 81% last week. Numbers are not near as high passing. He's only got 1,480 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. His team's undefeated, which is going to matter, but 651 on the ground and 12 more touchdowns. Those count. Those have to be in the conversation. So Haynes King is at 4. Number 3, this might be a bit of a surprise for some people, Trinidad Chambliss. Little man has been a baller out of nowhere. At a Ferris State, nobody talked about him. Didn't start the first 2 games, which has to come into the equation. Still 1,864 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 376 rush with 5 more touchdowns. Again, in just 6 starts. So Trinidad been playing well, just had a good win at Oklahoma. Number 2, Fernando Mendoza. 1,923 yards passing, 24 tutties, 3 interceptions, kicked in almost 200 on the ground with 3 touchdowns as well. Throwing Indiana to an undefeated season, a number 1 ranking, number 2 ranking wherever you have him. We'll see in a second on See Ball, Get Ball. And number 1, Ty Simpson. I got him at the numero uno spot. 20 touchdowns, 1 interception, almost 2,200 yards passing, thrown in, another 80 rushing with a couple of touchdowns. But seen him do it consistently against really, really good competition week in and week out. Didn't have his fastball this week, still made the plays down the stretch to be really, really good. So that is my top 5. Brent Rollins, get your butt in here, because I've got so many more people that I want to talk about and I want to discuss this with. But the top 5, who would you have maybe in there, or who would you have out, or did you kind of like it?
I actually don't see anything wrong with it.
Wow. That's a first if you've been listening to See Ball, Get Ball, because Brent is Mr. Analytical, PFF, numbers. He's got all that big brain of his up there. It really, really works. So that's surprising.
It's also because in terms of impact, the 5 guys that you listed have had basically the biggest individual impact, because you said non-quarterbacks, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, they have the biggest biggest impact on the game, but their stats and they kind of cannibalize each other in a way. Julian Sayin is obviously the beneficiary of that there. So, but
Jeremiah Smith, gosh dang,
both of them.
And that's the thing. Ohio State fans, don't get upset. I have Julian Sayin just outside. I have him at 6. But again, Tate's numbers are so good. Smith gets so much attention. That a lot of those will get split on how they decide. He's still got 1,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been great. But
yes.
And here's the thing about moving forward with all of these guys. Where are the Heisman moments? That's what wins Heisman trophies. Down the stretch, who's going to play in these big games? Another guy I got on the list off to the side, Dante Moore. Is he going to have another opportunity? He's got 1,772 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's kicked in 131 on the ground. He's been really, really good. When's his next opportunity? Maybe against Washington, who's ranked at the end of the season?
I would actually argue that based on the list that you have put up there, he has the most opportunities. Because they've got USC and Washington to finish.
Yep.
And those games might be, and even at Iowa is going to be, I think, a tough game for Oregon because Iowa's going to be coming off a bye. But like, I think there's a lot of opportunity for Dante Moore to put himself in there, especially if he goes and wins those 2 games late in the season.
Well, and here's one thing too. Now let's talk to all the fans, because making this list, putting this together, I think a lot of people immediately put Diego Pavia towards the top. I have no problem with it. It's your list. If you want to put him towards the top, Diego Pavia is a stud. He's a star. He's carrying Vanderbilt. But I think that one thing to pay attention to, just like last week, he barely had over 100 yards passing, 0 touchdowns. He hasn't thrown for over 200 yards in an SEC game. They're winning. That's all that matters. He's a big reason. His mindset and the way he has brought belief and the chip on his shoulder to that team, you could say is better than all the stats. And probably a majority of the reason why they're there. Pavia still has more opportunities up ahead to splash, to sizzle, to get people in there. He's got 1,700 yards passing. He's got 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's kicked in another 450 on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns. So he's very much in this mix. So Vanderbilt fans, don't get upset. He's in the conversation. He should be in the conversation. Here's a couple other guys I got in the conversation. Like, how about Gunnar Stockton? I got Gunnar Stockton in this conversation for a couple reasons. Now, his stats don't do as much justice, especially throwing the football. He's got 1,553 yards. He's got 10 touchdowns. He's got 1 interception, but he's got almost 300 on the ground, and he's got 7 touchdowns that you kick into there. So he's kind of, I kind of equate him to Haynes King, but Haynes King's better. Like, he does it at a higher level on the ground, at a higher level passing right now. So like, I would argue, and this is my take. I don't think Haynes King has around him what Gunnar Stockton has around him.
No,
I don't think he has the talent. So I think Haynes King stirs that drink. Here's another thing too. Let's talk about people on this list that has had Heisman moments. I feel like Ty Simpson has had a bunch of moments, man. If you've been watching, that's why he's number 1 for me. Mendoza, he's had some moments, man. At Oregon was a big moment to go succeed, to go throw his way there. Trinidad Chambliss just went on the road at Oklahoma against the number 1 defense in the country statistically and had a field day and out-mateered Mateer, right? Like that, to me, that matters. Haynes King, doing what he's done. Now, he hasn't done it against elite competition yet, but here's what I see down the road. He's got Georgia down the road. He's got a possible ACC championship game. Like, he's got some opportunities. Marcel Reed, obviously, coming off of that opportunity. Like, Gunnar Stockton, Tennessee game. That was a moment. Like, against Ole Miss, scoring every single possession when your team needed it. Those are moments that matter to me. Like, that's what I'm interested to see. Like, it's who's going to be on this list. People look at the stats. People are going to care about that. And people are going to wait till championship weekend. And if it's championship weekend, who's playing at that time, I think will go a long way in deciding who wins the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, the game, the clean old-fashioned hate game, Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Isn't that
might
crazy?
Be whoever statistically, plays better and wins that game. That might be a seat at the table kind of game.
Starting defense, place at the table. If you don't know that reference, you can't tell me you grew up like a diehard football fan.
No, I agree.
Come on.
Back to Pavia, though. He hasn't played his best in the biggest games.
No.
Like, we talked about he made a few plays against Missouri, but it was mainly the defense that carried the day and the big running play. He didn't play, had turnovers in the red zone against Alabama. So he's got at Texas this week. He's got, Tennessee late in the season. The only name that I wrote down, there's actually 2 names that I wrote down in terms of that are off the radar that could kind of pop up here on the radar because of opportunity, are Joey Aguilar at Tennessee, because they've got Oklahoma this week. They've got Vandy, and, they went out. They're a playoff team, I think. And then Damon Williams Jr. from Washington, because the numbers he put up this past weekend were unbelievably ridiculous. And
he's done it all year except for the Michigan game.
Right. And Ohio State, and but if he has a big numbers run and then has a big time moment late against Oregon, that kind of thing, that's maybe that gets you into that sort of finalist position. I think if I had to pick a winner, it would be from the top 5 that you've listed currently.
Would you have Ty Simpson number 1?
I mean, I tomato, that's fine. I think for now that's fine with me. I'm not. I always like see more and more, but I think I don't see anything wrong with putting him at number one at this point.
I don't see how you don't have Ty Simpson number one. I think we could argue all of the rest, but like what you've seen Ty Simpson do with those 4 ranked opponents in a row, and the way you've seen him execute in critical junctures, like doing it, running it, doing it, throwing it, doing it as the leader of the team, going into Athens and ending that 33-game win streak. Like I don't know what else you need to see from Ty Simpson. To me,
him and Mendoza, those two.
To me, he's the clear front runner.
They have that big road win.
Yeah,
that sort of moment, along with the stats part of it.